welcome to episode 34 of the All Around Podcast. Today's date is January 31st, 2018.
Yep, last day of the month.
Yep.
Last day of the fiscal year.
Just a heads up, everybody. It's currently 8 o'clock in the morning on the 31st, so we're a little bit tired.
This is not our normal time to do this.
Yes. We're also on a Wednesday. We
Yep.
usually post the shit on a Sunday. Some shit happened, so we're putting it out now. But Jeremy,
Nick.
there's a bunch of shit to recap.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, with me as always, the lovely, delightful, always pleasurable Jeremy.
And who are you? You didn't even introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Nick. Hey, what the fuck's up? It's 8 o'clock in the morning. It's 8 a.m. Some shit's going down. So a bunch of fucking kick-ass releases actually came out. Yeah. I've actually been super busy myself. I've literally been playing 60% of this library nonstop.
But that doesn't add up. That's not math.
Don't do 8 a.m. people. 8 a.m.
Wait, did you play like
No,
I
didn't. I didn't. No. I did none of it.
The first game that came out of our list that we haven't talked about yet is Digimon.
Yep.
Which you've played
religiously.
Yeah, you talk about Digimon.
So, one thing that's the first thing I bring up to anyone who hasn't played this franchise and is possibly interested, you have to play the first Cyber Sleuth. There's a bunch of Digimon games that just came out relatively recently on PS4, but Cyber Sleuth is kind of its own individual series on there. They came out with their first one in 2014? 15, thank you. So this one is technically an entire side story of while that campaign was originally going on, this whole major epic side story action was also happening. It's really cool. You can carry over a lot of save data stuff. But the probably complaint I would have is it 100% heavily relies on you playing the first one for two big reasons. One, being a super big farming RPG, they throw you in without any type of major tutorial at all, which I think is a big issue with that type of with how complex that type of system is without giving you an explanation. And the other thing is they introduce you to a lot of characters without proper backstory because it's assuming that you've already played the first one.
Yeah,
exactly. So those are the two major gripes. But overall, the combat's amazing. It's all turn-based combat, very old-school Final Fantasy-esque. The new Digimon that they added is awesome. The level-up system's really good. They don't go super complex with like a skill tree or anything because of how many Digimon you can get to Digivolve into different things. So the complexity is within getting your Digimon to go into every single skill tree and get every single one registered in your field guide. But overall, it's really good. Is it doing anything super groundbreaking? No. Is it completely destroying the franchise? Absolutely not. Have I been playing it for 36 plus hours already? Fuck yeah. It's really good. I've been super enjoying it. But what are the review scores?
So, Metacritic gave it a 74%. The user score is a 7.4, so they add up pretty evenly. Mm-hmm. IGN, I could not find a score for it on there, but it's pretty much falls in line with what the other Digimon games were.
You know what's really funny? I think that might be the first game
that we've seen that have the same
that actually has like point for point
7.4.
That's really funny.
But yeah, I mean it stays intact with the first Cyber Sleuth.
That's what I'm saying, because that's the thing. I mean the graphics aren't anything crazy. It's all subtitled, so you're not getting like high-end voice dialogue or anything. I mean technically you are from Japan, but that's what it's not hitting the States too well effectively. But yeah,
so it's a game.
Exactly, it's a game that's fun. If you're into RPGs like myself.
And if you like Digimon.
Yes. Very much so.
How much Kyle loves Mega Kabuteria.
See, the one thing... But I will say, like, if anyone's possibly interested in the series, still play the first one, and you'll easily have at least... so it was a funny side note, too, on it. So the thing is, it takes over your save data, but it also takes your time. Oh. So when I first saved the game, it was like... You know, the autosave when you start is like 0-0. And then it kicked into 84 hours, and I was like, whoa, shit.
It's like, wait a second.
I was like, oh,
I didn't play that game that much.
So already, technically, I've put like 110 hours into my second save file, but that's because of the 80 superseding it.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty
dope. I kind of like that feature.
That's what I thought it was very cool, but yeah. So next game.
So next game, we had a double hitter last Friday.
Hell yeah. Right? Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So the big one, at least for us, is Dragon Ball FighterZ, which Bandai Namco finally came out and confirmed it is called FighterZ.
Yes.
Not Fighters.
Not Fighters.
And not Fighters Z.
Z, yeah.
It's just Dragon Ball Fighters, just like you would normally say it. But it is a lot of fun. It is everything that I hoped it'd be. Complete 2D hand-drawn animation for the fighting. You have the little 3D hub world that you can do. You have a whole bunch of customizations and different characters to play as. But the fighting is so... It's so complex, but it's also so simple.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So what I really love about this setup is... and it's the company that makes Guilty Gear, which I do love a lot of their like fighting mechanics. But they even went new on this one. Like, I know a lot of review people were saying, like, oh, it's people who just made Guilty Gear. But, like, then you're thinking Guilty Gear combos when it's not. So, their whole combo system is based off if you can do a quarter circle and press a button, you can do every move in Dragon Ball FighterZ. You have the potential to do every move, which I love. There's no pretzel rolls. There's no complex button mechanics. It's literally the most of the most complex thing you're doing is a quarter circle and then press one button. So I love that they have that. They have a good combo chain. It feels very. I mean, the best vibe if you have, if you're debating on trying to get into this one would probably be Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah,
very flashy graphics, very anime-esque in that sense.
And it's very quick.
Oh yeah,
the combat. Very quick game.
Oh, and it's also the other thing about it too. Is in the middle of getting hit with combos as opposed to most fighters, but very similar like Ultimate Warrior vs. Capcom. When you're in the middle of a combo stream, if you're getting hit, you really can't do anything.
Right.
You just wait for that moment to strike again and then go for it. But yeah, but the combat's really good. They keep it simplistic for beginners to get involved, but then absolutely, yeah, like if you play it long enough, you can definitely tell that's one game that if you're watching two people play it, you can definitely be able to look at which one is more advanced.
Oh, right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But at the same time, a newbie can hold their own.
Yeah.
That's what I love about it. Like, oh, man. And because it's characters flying around, having that whole dash mechanic, and having that, make the combat way more intense all the time. I think honest to God, I think more fighting games should have that. Like, being able to somehow get in for a quick, immediate rush in. Because that's, don't get me wrong, I love personally watching high-end competitive Street Fighter, but man, if you could just get the characters in it more, and not have so much back shit going on, oh man, because even they showed off, they did essentially mini Evo for fighters, and it was really good. Watching high-end competitive with it, man, it's fucking gnarly, but yeah, it's awesome. It's so good,
and it's so much fun. It is just it's so simple, but every time that I play, I feel like it's different.
Well, also we should probably bring this up too. So it actually is a pretty good story mode.
Yeah, I haven't touched story yet.
So I was about to say I'm probably about halfway through the overall story mode. And what I mean by that is, so right when you go into campaign, there's 3 different arcs that each have anywhere from 10 to 13 chapters each, and that's pretty long. Each chapter puts in at least 4 to 5 fights per chapter, so you're playing a lot. They have their own level up system for just campaign, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw that.
Different character links, which give you different abilities. It was way more complex than what I even wanted, and on top of everything, which I think is a really big deal for fighters, for its campaign, all of the scenes in between the fights are all actual cutscenes and all actual dub dialogue.
Right.
So you're actually hearing everything too. It's all audio, which is really important. It really feels like in some instances you're watching an episode, and man, especially when you get those moments. Because when you're fighting, of course, everything's happening super quick, so you only get to barely appreciate little moments. But man, when you're playing campaign and you can pause and look at how they set up those characters, or characters about to do an attack, and you can watch that still animation for it. Man, it is really good. It's amazing from top to bottom, and I can't wait. Because they're coming out with 8 more characters,
8 more characters.
Down the road. I cannot fucking wait to see what they do. Whether it's super, they probably won't, but they could possibly do GT.
Nah, they won't.
Yeah, I don't think they will, but who knows?
Also, we should talk about Android 21.
So
and
yeah,
how freaking cool she is.
so brand new character to the franchise.
Yep.
The one, okay, so I don't consider this a spoiler anymore, and this is something I'm mad about because I don't consider this a spoiler because it should be. So the trailer before even the game came out showed off Android 21's true form,
Oh yeah.
which I was so pissed about because now I will say this: I was pissed originally because I thought it was not going to be a thing. I thought it was going to be a total and well, this might be spoilers for you, but whatever. I thought it was going to be something that they baited you at the end of one campaign and be like, no, she transforms literally chapter 2. I was like, oh,
well,
shit.
I mean, my thought process was okay. So they're introducing a new android.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Not many people care that much about the androids.
True.
But let's make an android Majin.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Yeah. So and
essentially now it's intriguing.
Mm-hmm. And I don't even know her full backstory from playing a campaign and a half. Essentially, not without spoiler stuff, but just more of the story, her setup. Because I was confused about her being an android and a Majin. I was like, how does that work?
Yeah, how does it work?
So she's very similar to Cell in the sense of what she actually has is a bunch of different abilities and stuff from other fighters. Okay. And so essentially her major feature, though, how Cell had cells from Saiyans, and that was his main thing. I mean, of course, he had other abilities and stuff, but that's exactly it. So Android 21's main feature is that she has Majin DNA, and that's her main thing. And technically, if it's because Fighters is they label it as DBZ canon, so technically Android 21 is the first female Majin.
Yeah.
In theory, like I said.
Also, she could now show up on the show.
Yeah, well, and then the other thing, as well.
Provided they could keep continuing.
Exactly. Well, did you hear about that whole thing?
I know it's going on hiatus.
No, it's ending. They already.
They're canceling it?
Well, not canceling. They're just ending it, which means they wrote a proper ending for it.
Well, that sucks.
Well, they're putting out a movie. Sorry, we're going off on tangent. They're putting out a movie 4 to 5 months from now.
Right.
And then the whole thing is that Super's obviously ending, but then the whole thing is they could easily do something else.
I hope they do.
Yeah. It's DBZ. It's not. The whole thing is the hype on DBZ is way too big right now. I don't think they're stalling out. I think they're just taking a break and then building up to a new series. Because I think their whole thing was they did the universe arc. I think now they're either going to jump past. Because the whole point of Super was it was supposed to take place in between them killing Boo and then the last episode of DBZ, which was a time jump.
Right.
Of when Pan was a little kid, not in GT, but you know what I mean. So I think then the next series is going to be after that because the whole point of Super is just to be in between that. So we'll see. Anyway, super fucking tangent there.
Yeah, really.
But what did DBZ's ratings get?
So Metacritic it got an 88%. User score got an 8.6. So still very close together.
Yep.
IGN gave it a 9 out of 10. There were a couple different places while I was scrolling through looking for reviews that said it was one of the highest rated Dragon Ball games of all time.
Oh, easily.
And it's definitely bringing back a form of fandom, I guess, towards Dragon Ball that hasn't been seen since the Budokai series.
Last thing I didn't want to bring up, because I almost did forget about this, and it's very important that I feel like we should talk about this. So, on a technical... on a technical standpoint, I want to clarify something for people who have, heard about this, but haven't looked into it.
Now I'm confused.
Technically, DBZ has a loot box system. Well, hold on. This is all the disclaimer I want to put. Moral of the story, everything you can get in DBZ is all earned in-game currency. There is no... at least as of today, as of the 31st,
you can't buy them.
You cannot put any money toward these loot boxes whatsoever.
They still exist.
Exactly, which I love. And they even have a 2 different type of loot box system where if you get duplicates, you get Z coins, then you use, or not Z coins, the tournament Hercule coins.
Yeah.
And then if you use those, they guarantee you a new item. Which is super dope.
Right.
So, I'm a big fan. I've heard, Kotaku, right before the game came out, posted, a loot box question mark thing. And I've heard a lot of, dumb shit about it. Moral of the story, don't worry about it at all.
It's not loot boxes like Star Wars.
Exactly. It's not that. None of the loot boxes even affect anything actually in game. They just have like it's all customization stuff like lobby avatars.
Yep.
No in-game stats. There's no in-game boosts or anything fucking ridiculous like that.
Nope.
And it's all earned in game. All of it is earned in game.
Does not change gameplay at all.
Sorry, I just feel like we need a disclaimer that because the way fucking loot boxes have been going lately.
Yeah.
You had to clear the goddamn air. But anyway, so Monster Hunter also came out.
Yes, Monster Hunter World
Yes.
came out. Monster Hunter World is the first game in the series to be on a non-Nintendo console in 16 years.
Yeah, I was just gonna say a really long time.
Yeah.
It originally was with PlayStation.
Yep,
And then flipped Nintendo.
the last time it came out was 2002 on PS2. It was the last Monster Hunter release on a
Damn.
non-Nintendo console.
Jeez.
It is the first one ever on a Microsoft console.
Yeah.
So it is. It's a big deal. Monster Hunter for a while was going under my radar. Monster Hunter was kind of just like, oh, okay, cool, it's another Monster Hunter game. Monster Hunter blew the fuck up.
Oh
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Monster Hunter used to be a very small corner of the gaming community that was like, yeah, let me get like Monster Hunter Generations. Hey, let me get Monster Hunter Stories. Hey, let me get Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate on Wii U.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden Monster Hunter's coming to the main consoles, and it's just like everybody lost their mind.
Well, the big thing is too, we're seeing so many people this time around. And I've dabbled a couple. I haven't played every Monster Hunter by any stretch. I honest to God, I usually play every other one that comes out, just because for me, I need that break with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, we're getting so many people I've noticed get into Monster Hunter World that have never played a Monster Hunter before. Like this one's definitely kind of opening the door for them.
But I mean, it's also not like the last one they put out was Stories, and Stories was very different and very cartoon and very kid oriented.
That one they're trying to build up. That one in particular, they're trying to build up a whole franchise with that one. Like they even have an anime and a manga going on at the same time. So yeah, that makes sense.
But then, Monster Hunter 3, Monster Hunter 4, Monster Hunter Generations, they were all on Nintendo consoles. Generations was on a 3DS, and 3 and 4 were what, on Wii U? 4 was on Wii U?
Yeah, 4 was on Wii U, and then 3 had a 3DS and a Wii version.
Yeah, so, I mean, it wasn't like anything anybody was going to jump at.
Oh, yeah,
But now, I mean, Monster Hunter World is it's the game in the series that had the most copies shipped. It's the game in the series that has the highest ratings so far. It is definitely something that Capcom can capitalize on. It's definitely going to be like one of their bigger franchises. Not that it wasn't already, but like it's 2 major franchises, 3, or we Street Fighter, Mega Man, and Resident Evil. And Monster Hunter is definitely coming up into like the big leagues where we could see multiple sequels to this. We could see free DLC updates later on. We could see support for Monster Hunter World for a while.
But, I mean, well, we're even seeing, we haven't heard anything on the Xbox chain, but PlayStation is getting the Horizon Zero Dawn stuff for free.
Yeah.
For a limited time. They're putting it out, it's very weird though how they're putting it out, because I thought it was just going to be, you get the armor, like the alloy armor, and then you get the cat armor, and then like a couple other weapons. No, they're putting it out almost episodically. Yeah. So right now it's just the cat armor, and then later on it's going to be...
So the way it is, it's an event. And the events until a period of time, there's different Horizon Zero Dawn missions in there, and you have to go find creatures and people from Horizon Zero Dawn, start that quest. Once you finish the quest, you get the armor. So once you finish it, you can finally play as Aloy.
Yeah. And then the other thing, too, which I think is important to talk about, especially with the Monster Hunter. So on a technical standpoint, this is also the first like full open world Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
And I only put one little caveat with that, though, because technically, I mean, if you look at every old Monster Hunter game, they were in open world settings. But this one, because they're finally on major consoles, you don't have to worry, because back in the old ones, they had a grid-based system, or like, you had to go to section A and then B. They still have those, but it's not, you don't have to reload into an area.
Right.
All of that is on one massive map now, which I thought was really cool.
Yep.
Also, too, the graphics on this look fucking
the graphics
gnarly.
Are amazing.
So good. I mean, I'm even talking 1080p. They look really nice. I was shocked. I was looking at I looked at 1080p and legitimately thought it was in 4K.
Yeah.
Like, man, that thing bleeds good graphics.
Yeah. Plus, the multiplayer seems to be really good. A lot of people are having a lot of fun doing it.
So I'm saying cooperative. It's so fucking good, and that's what's nice too, because it's on every console now, so it's only enticing more people, and especially because that's a game that even if you don't know Monster Hunter, that's typically a game you can play cooperatively with your friends.
Right.
So I think that's so good to like, hey, like that's the perfect way of like, especially people on like Xbox, for example, who've never, if you've only had an Xbox, you've never been able to play Monster Hunter before.
Right.
So that's the perfect thing of like, hey, I've been playing Monster Hunter, dude. I'm super fucking like loving it. We should fucking tag team together, and I could fucking run you through like up and catch you up pretty quick to where I'm at. Like it's only building up more hype for it, and they did a really good job too. So obviously, like Horizon Zero Dawn's doing PlayStation stuff, but on like another random side note that Capcom was doing a good presentation for, Street Fighter had a trailer for Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
And they put a bunch of Monster Hunter costumes for Street Fighter, but then also had them like fighting one of the dragons. So, it was great. It was so good. But that's like, I mean, Capcom has made a lot of missteps. I'll be the first person to say that. But man,
Monster Hunter's a step in the right direction.
I love one. And plus, we had Mega Man announcement before that.
Yep.
Like, man, they could do it. Like they could
come back.
They could have a year.
Well,
I mean, could see a year.
To be fair, like they started their comeback last year. Resident Evil 7.
Oh, absolutely.
So I mean, let's take Resident Evil 7.
Yep.
Then we take Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition, which is the best version of the game you can get so far.
100%.
The 30th anniversary of Street Fighter coming out this year. Marvel vs. Capcom wasn't a terrible flop.
No.
It was good. Monster Hunter, Mega Man 11, and the Resident Evil 2 remake, which has a leaked release date of this year.
Yeah.
So if we can get Resident Evil 2 at the end of this year, after everything else they've been doing, Capcom is absolutely 100% making a comeback.
And they need it. I want them to have such a good year. I think every Capcom fan has been waiting for this resurgence for literally forever.
So if that's the case, can they make a Power Stone 3?
They very well could.
That would make me happy.
My whole thing is I want Capcom, like, that's the point. Like, when they start doing an upswing, then they start taking gambles like that. And they usually pay off. Yeah. Usually. So that's what I want. Really what I want is Mega Man Legends 3, which we'll never get. We'll never get it. Yeah. I just have to swallow
the last time that Capcom was at its high and it took a big gamble was when it did Street Fighter vs. X Tekken.
Yes.
And then it kind of fell for a little while.
Well, and then we had the issue too of everybody's waiting for Tekken Cross Street Fighter, and then some rights and shit happened. Then some weird shit happened in between.
Yeah.
But yeah, down the road, if we're going on a Capcom rant for a minute, my whole thing down the road is I want Mega Man 11 to fucking destroy. Like, I want it to blow fucking people's minds and just be really good. Yeah. I want it to be the mania of Mega Man.
Yeah.
And I want them to be really good there. And then they go, hey, because this is the only way Capcom's fucking ridiculous. They'll be like, oh, people still like Mega Man? Let's put on more Mega Man games. And then fucking, like, everyone will be like, oh my god, we've literally been waiting our entire lifetime.
It's like, hey, let's make a Mario Odyssey type game for Mega Man.
I'd be a fan.
That'd be great.
That's what Mega Man Legends was, anyway.
So, that's that. Monster Hunter got a 91% through Metacritic, an 8.1 user score, and a 9.5 IGN score.
Yeah.
So it's doing
It's doing very fucking well. Like, everybody's loving it. It's it's nothing really that bad. I mean, the only thing I feel like that we're seeing dip there is obviously with the user score. And I think that's either just people, like, not just too into it. You know what I mean? And
or people coming from the Wii U titles over to PlayStation and Xbox.
Yes, that's very true.
Like, they do play very differently. The controls are different. The whole scheme of the game is pretty different.
The only other side note that I want to bring up with Monster Hunter is, and almost kind of something I was talking about with Digimon. This Monster Hunter does not do, and like every other Monster Hunter, like, that's the thing I say, it does not do a really good job at introducing you to everything, every mechanic of the game. I strongly recommend, if you do want to get into the game, just watch a really basic tutorial of, like, once you farm items, how you convert them into weapons and armor, and then what you then, like, use the rest of your like, accessories and stuff for. I mean, people have explained it in, like, honestly, a 5-minute video. I just recommend you watch something like that because the game really isn't going to teach you. And also, the weapon tutorial is so bare bones. It's almost insulting. It's the only like little jab I'll take at it of, like, if you, like, hey, I want to use a greatsword. Awesome, go for it. They're only going to show you how to be like, hey, hit X to attack. They're not even going to show you, like, hey, by the way, if you actually hit, like, XXY, you do, like, a really cool combo and do, like, triple damage. So that's the only other thing. It's like, come on, like, I get a game wants you to discover things, but on a complex like loot and then reward system, they really need to pick and choose that better. Yeah. Especially with this game intentionally, just like we talked about, intentionally with the fact of this is for a new brand of players.
Right.
They really just should have gave a tutorial option. And listen,
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
diehard fans, they could have just been like, by the way, if you already know your shit, go out there.
Well, I mean, is there a difficulty setting in the game?
No.
Oh, well,
No.
never mind.
One
I was
flag,
going to say they could have added difficulty,
Yeah.
and they could have made it, if you're
Yeah.
going to do easy, they'll give you a tutorial.
Yeah,
If you're
I mean,
gonna do
there's
expert,
hunts that are way more difficult. Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
oh,
even
yeah, yeah,
despite your level, like, you know, it's gonna be tough either way. But yeah. I mean, honestly, that Friday was the fucking best.
Yeah,
We got
it's
two
bananas.
sick games, and yeah, been playing them nonstop. But anyway,
So that's that. One other game came out in the meantime, which actually just released yesterday, which is Dissidia Final Fantasy, which is the fighting game in the Final Fantasy franchise, where it's 3v3, right?
Yep.
Yep, 3v3, and you have multiple different heroes and villains from the Final Fantasy world. You've
Super
got
cool.
Lightning from 13, you've got Noctis from 15, you've got Cloud and Sephiroth, so there's a bunch of characters in there. Squall's in there, right?
yep,
Yeah.
Squall for me.
Yes, there's a bunch of different characters in there. There's not a official review from Metacritic yet. A couple different places were giving it like 7s and 8s. The user score right now is a 6.8. Didn't really say why.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
There were very small, like, and this is just through Metacritic. There were very not long, in-depth reviews. Most of them were like a sentence or two that was just like, the game's okay, could have been better than I expected. Don't really like the combination of the tactical RPG aspect mixed with the fighting, blah, 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 stuff like that. It is a very different game. It's a fighter that is also an RPG.
Yeah, it seems a little weird. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I played the first two on PSP when
Right.
they first came out, so like I'm even used to that combat. Now, I haven't actually played the full release yet, but I did play 2 rounds of the beta, like 2 different cycles of the beta. I didn't just play 2 fights. And when I said that, I was like, I should probably clarify that.
Yeah, I was like, well, I mean, yeah, I guess you got.
I played one whole minute. I played 1 whole minute of Dissidia. I think I know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
that's alright.
So I played 2 whole cycles of it. I liked it. I thought it, I mean, yet again, I also knew what to expect from the PSP version, and getting it on a full console, I was like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, on a side note, in Japan, they've had these in arcade consoles now.
Oh yeah.
For
a while.
arcade cabinets. They've had this for over a year now, actually. So, I mean, I think it's really cool. I will say, though, maybe the game's story isn't too great. Like, this is just all speculation. Maybe the game's story doesn't hit a point too much. Maybe there is just, like, a basic arcade mode that doesn't offer too much. I think this is one of those games where, like... So... And DBZ... And to reflect on a fighting game wise, DBZ does a really good job at this, and same thing, I would hope Final Fantasy did something. So, you have the Final Fantasy franchise, and they're pretty much saying it's every Final Fantasy game. That's a game where it's like, okay, so you should be able to earn some type of money to be able to buy, like, you know, artwork, or costumes,
Right.
or, like, and I don't know if they have that much. So that's the one thing, I really hope they did, because just, like, god damn. And I know they are talking about putting out a bunch of extra DLC.
Oh,
not even on a side note, not even season pass yet.
Yeah,
but
well,
like,
it's not. Is there going to be paid DLC?
Yeah.
Okay, because there's no season pass for it.
Yeah. But that's on. Yeah, so there's gonna be a bunch of just like extra sprinkle DLC, because it's gonna be a lot of like rando character costumes,
Right.
and also 2 like custom weapons. Like I'm calling this right now. I guarantee there will be, within probably like 2 to 3 months, a $10 DLC for an ultimate weapon for every character.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. So yeah, just shit like that. So yeah, it's sad, but at the same time, the release wasn't big either.
No,
Like, it was a very just kind of like, hey, if you're into it, play it.
Yeah, it's like, hey, this is a thing.
And also, I mean, it got so fucking outshone by DBZ.
Yeah.
Like, DBZ put out the marketing, they fucking went all out, and it shows. I mean, it
Yeah,
really does show.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing, too, Dissidia is obviously Square Enix because of Final Fantasy,
Yeah.
but the biggest thing that I feel like should have been promoted more that wasn't was that the game was developed by Team Ninja, the same people
Yes.
that did Dead or Alive and Ninja Gaiden.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they didn't promote this cross-promotion for a fighting game, and they didn't do as much marketing, and they didn't push it as being, hey, this is like the big Final Fantasy game for the year, which could be not true.
Yeah.
But they're pushing the Royal Edition of Final Fantasy 15 harder, which, yay.
Which is fair. I mean, I think Square Enix more looks at it as, should we promote a third-party company through us or our main game?
Yeah.
And then they know what to stick with. Also, as one small counterpoint to it, or at least devil's advocate, Team Ninja usually doesn't have big launches.
No, they don't.
I can't think of the last big, like, where people are like, whoa. I mean, this sounds bad to say this, but even Ninja Gaiden in general, which I love.
Yeah.
Like, I've played every one. But, still, even those releases, when they even first came out, were just kind of like, like, it's cool. Like, if you like it, check it out.
Right, yeah.
If not, yeah. Yeah, I literally think, like,
Still
their
loving
whole...
the new Ninja Gaiden game, though.
Yeah, like, they're definitely the niche company.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it for games that came out. There's a couple things that we can talk about for news and opinion stuff. So God of War finally has a release date. A couple days before they announced the release date, they announced the Collector's Edition and the Stonemason Edition.
Yep.
Two big Collector's Editions. You get a big statue of Kratos and his son. There's a whole bunch of little figurines and stuff that you get. You get a cloth map and stuff like that. So
yeah, it's pretty cool.
But then a couple days after that, they were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, it releases on April 20th."
Yep. Well, they did a story trailer with it too, didn't
Yeah.
they? Yeah, they did the story trailer to like show it off. I thought that was really cool.
Yep. So, sorry, I'm losing my voice.
Yeah, I was just gonna
It's like
say.
super
I heard
early
that
in the
middle of
morning.
that.
I'm just
Yeah.
like dying.
That's what I was just gonna say.
But yeah, so that's definitely a thing. So I'm really excited. I was hoping it was going to be March, like they said, like it got leaked on the store. But you know, a month back, I can take April.
I'll
It's
take
fine.
April. Yeah, I was just gonna say.
It's still super early. So that's awesome. Can't wait for that. Obviously PS4 exclusive. So that's cool. We'll talk about this later.
Yep, I
We'll
was
talk
thinking the
about
same
that.
thing.
So then Detective Pikachu, the game and the movie,
Yep.
got a couple updates. The game is coming out
Soon.
Sometime soon.
Soon.
And Ryan Reynolds got cast to be the voice of Pikachu.
Which is so fucking weird.
Yeah, not Danny DeVito.
Oh, I would have loved Danny DeVito.
Yeah, Danny DeVito Chew.
But I think, he's obviously going to still make it fun.
Yeah, I just can't see. Like, I was picturing, like, him walking around with, like... Yeah.
But I think that's more the point
like,
of...
Yeah, I would love it if Pikachu would walk around with, like a Tony Montana kind of thing.
See, that's the problem. Like, I think that's exactly why Nintendo picked somebody more funny, but not, like they're not trying to make Pikachu scary. Like, I'm gonna solve a mystery. Like, they're not trying to get... You know what I mean? Like,
I'm gonna solve a mystery.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love Danny DeVito as an actor. And I think he would have made that the funniest fucking role of all time.
I just keep thinking about, like, Phil from Hercules.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
If we could take Phil from Hercules and make him Pikachu, like, that'd be great.
Oh,
But, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's a thing that's happening, I guess. I don't really have... I'm not hyper for it, and I'm not really like...
Oh my god,
I'm just like...
on a random note, I saw one of the dumbest articles, I don't know if you saw it too, where they showed a set photo got leaked.
Oh my god.
Oh, no, hold on. No, the title of it is what killed me, because they tried to make it seem super dramatic, and they weren't trying to be funny, but they were like, set for Detective Pikachu, like, all around, no Pikachu to be found. Like
No shit. No
when
shit.
I read that, I was like, oh, they're being funny. I was like, oh, and then I kept reading, and then they were like, yeah, there's not, they were like, in the entire set, like, of all these leaked photos, there's not a single, object that appears to be, that it would be CGI'd. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, obviously they're gonna CGI a fucking Pikachu in there.
Yeah,
like,
but I mean,
Jesus.
to be fair, like, James Gunn's brother, Sean Gunn, did all the motion capture for Rocket and Guardians so that they had a point.
Yeah.
Like, Chris Pratt could look over and see Sean Gunn and know he's talking to Rocket. So, I mean, I get that.
Well, here's the thing. They still might have a person to do
yeah,
that.
they might, yeah.
But the thing is, like, it's just ridiculous that set photos get leaked.
Yeah.
It's just set photos. And they're just like, where the fuck's Pikachu? This
Where's
is bullshit.
Pikachu?
This is bullshit. Fucking, I read that. I was just like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. So, anyway.
Detective Pikachu.
Detective Pikachu.
Yeah.
Comes out with a amiibo, too.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be bigger, too.
Yeah,
It's gonna be like a medium. I'm calling it a medium. It's
it's
not a plush Yoshi large one, but
no.
it's in the middle.
It's in between.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's a thing.
Speaking of things.
Speaking of things, that Nintendo decided to do. We didn't get a chance to talk about this yet. I hope you like cardboard. If you like cardboard and you like to build cardboard forts and make little like things as a kid to crawl in and stuff.
Even though you're in your 20s now, but
you can now get this box that comes with other boxes, and you can break apart the boxes and make them into shapes. And then the shapes can do things with your Switch, and you play games.
Yeah.
It's called Labo. It's short for laboratory.
Yep.
It's pretty great.
So
it's this hard plastic cardboard, like
still cardboard.
It think of like a Starbucks cup, like that kind of
just
cardboard.
Firm cardboard.
Yeah, and you get that, and you fold it, and you can make a piano, and you can make a fishing rod.
I swear to God, I want your dialogue at this moment to go over the trailer of you explain. Like, I want the direct of you to be like, "Hey, you fold some shit, and you put the hey, look a fishing rod, like." Hey, like a piano. Everybody's an engineer.
You can make a piano. You can make a fishing rod. It comes with string. You can make a little robot. But the way it works is it somehow keys up with the Switch. So, like, the little robot, you're using the Switch to make the controllers vibrate. And when the controllers vibrate, it makes the little robot move its legs. With the keyboard, I'm still not entirely sure how that works.
Yeah, that's really fucking weird. With all the keys, that makes no fucking sense.
The fishing rod...
You're playing fake keys. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I got no clue. The fishing rod, somehow the string attaches to the Joy-Con, and you move the thing, and it moves the Joy-Con.
Which, yet again, doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't... And then there's a backpack jetpack, okay? So this backpack jetpack thing, you put it on, pretend you have a jetpack, it somehow comes over your arms just like an Iron Man suit, and you can...
Oh, yeah, well, that's the robot one. That's the whole robot kit.
The jetpack
well,
robot thing.
Just to clarify, because there's two different
there's
Labo...
there's the variety kit, which comes with all the stuff I was just talking about, and then there's the robot kit, which is not the little robot that moves, it's the robot that you become. And you can fight like VR, and you can make yourself fly, and you
Don't say VR, that's complimenting it too much. It ain't VR.
Okay, well,
you don't get that screen.
Motion control.
You don't get that screen you face. No, I wish.
Well,
I fucking wish.
You do.
Well,
you put the Switch in the cardboard box and you're looking at it like it's VR. But so Nintendo decided to go the way that they did of the Wii when they made plastic tennis rackets and baseball bats, and now they just made it cardboard.
Now here's the other side note. I don't know if you remember this offhand. Do you know the price point for both?
Yeah, so it's $70 for the variety pack and it's $80 for the robot pack. And I also just realized as I'm thinking about this, it comes out the same day as God of War.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, God of War and Labo, which both come out on April 20th, which is 420, which means everybody who's high off their mind is going to try to roll blunts with Labo. It's going to be great. Can't wait.
On a side note, the funniest thing, I can't remember the exact company at the moment, but the best part was when they got a review copy or a dev kit of Labo.
It was somebody in Germany.
Yeah,
they threw it away.
They thought it was trash. They thought it was promotional.
Yep.
They thought it was just purely promotional, like a standee. They didn't think it was the actual
product
thing itself, which is fucking hilarious.
So, going off of this, I have concerns. One,
really?
Yeah, really. I have a bunch of concerns.
You don't like cardboard? You don't like your portable Switch with cardboard?
No, not really. Biggest concern I have is, what if it gets wet? Like, I'm going to pay $80 for this, which I'm not going to pay $80 for this.
Fuck getting it wet. What if, while you're tearing it out, it rips?
Okay, so
just the middle. Like, I'm talking about, let's even take it a step further. Like, you just take it right out of the box. What if you open the box and it's fucked up?
Are people going to, like... Can you resell this? Can you use this later? Like, how does this? Are these boxes going to be huge?
I don't know.
First of all,
it's very odd.
The other thing that I thought of is clearly this is geared towards children, which they have said it's geared towards trying to make kids use their imagination and be smart and stuff like that.
Even though there's reading directions.
Yeah, in the trailer there are adults using this stuff, which is that's cool, whatever, fine. I'm a big guy. I don't know if that backpack jetpack robot thing is going to fit me.
I think it'll work.
But do you see my concern?
Oh, no, totally.
Cardboard.
Yeah, exactly. So it's only meant
Cardboard doesn't stretch.
Right.
It comes with yarn for the fishing rod. Am I going to wear the jetpack thing with yarn? Like,
No, I think because the way they make it seem too. I mean, it's big and open. So the thing is too, because the one.
So is it gonna fall off a 4-year-old, or is it gonna fit a 20-year-old?
Yeah, that's the thing. Maybe
that's what I
mean.
No,
You're definitely right.
They're making something you wear. They're not making something you just put together and play with.
And it is not. And that is very true. It's not a one-size-fits-all setup.
Yeah, it's not. That was the first concern that I saw with that, and then everything else like. I build this stuff, so I build this piano, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. Where am I going to store this piano? Like,
I knew immediately the second you started. You were like, and what the fuck's up with cardboard? Like, I knew that's the route you were going with.
Where the fuck am I going to put this? I'm going to build it. It's going to be there. I'm not going to tear it apart to store it away.
Well, hopefully you can. I'm hoping there's some type of easy disassemble, but I don't think so because it looks super.
Did you see how complex this shit looks to put together? I'd rather put Legos together.
You were having a fucking hard time. Do you even understand? Like, you're making it seem like Labo is like some secret Nazi thing that they're trying to get people into.
I mean, I feel like
this is a fucking epidemic.
And then Kyle and I were talking, and we were just like,
shout out to Kyle.
Yeah,
love you, Paul.
Yeah. Go watch the ones who watched. They watched the movie Hostels with Christian Bale, and they put out a review for it. And Kyle said it's pretty good, so go watch that. But anyway, Kyle and I were talking about it. We're just like. So, I'm going to buy this box, okay? And hopefully it comes with the games, too, and not just the cardboard.
No, it is. It's the game.
So, we get the games.
Which, on a side note, sorry to interrupt, but on a side note, that does make the price a little bit...
Yeah, more justified.
Exactly.
So, we get the cardboard, we get the games. The games are probably just going to be digital codes. They're probably not going to be a thing. So, there, you're going to need a micro SD card to even play this.
Yep.
Second thing that Kyle and I were talking about was... So I get this fishing rod, right? I have this game that I use this fishing rod for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably all I ever use it for. Like, I get this jetpack. I'm going to use the jetpack for this one game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're not going to make... If Nintendo was smart, they would make more than one application for this.
Here's the thing they needed to do, and they failed to do that, and I think that's what's making a lot of people nervous. And as a clarification before I say this, we don't know this yet either.
Right.
What they should have said at the end of the Labo whole thing was, also, we plan on making 25 games or titles, even digital, for everything that you're picking up in each kit.
Right.
Like, they needed to really say, like, we do, but at the same time, they can't really say that, though, either, because they're still probably... First of all, they're going to see how it goes.
Yes.
And if it does amazing, if it's the next Wii Sport, they'll super invest. But if it's the next Wii Fit, they're not going to give a shit. And it's probably going to be the next Wii Fit.
Yeah. And the other thing that I was thinking about, too, when I was watching the fishing rod thing, and I'm like, yo, third party...
This motherfucking fishing rod.
You're going to appreciate where my mind's going right now, though. Okay?
Go for it.
So I'm looking at this fishing rod, and I'm like, yeah, that'd be great if, like, third-party companies would make a game. How great would it be if Sega made a Big the Cat fishing game, and I used this fishing rod?
Damn, son.
That was my first thought.
I thought when you said Sega first, I was like, if you just say Sega Bass Fishing and like really hone in on that, I was gonna be like, I don't even know why I'd be hyped for that at all.
No, Big the Cat.
Absolutely.
I want a Big the Cat fishing game, man. I want to throw the fucking thing in there and try to catch Froggy.
I still think it was fucked up that in Sonic Forces we didn't get a Big the Cat appearance.
Yeah.
I thought it was fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there was a secret Easter egg one that I definitely did not notice in the middle of running. He's probably in a building in a window somewhere random, but I definitely missed that Easter egg. Anyway,
so that's Labo.
Yeah, I mean, it's like on a side note though, with it, like, not to keep going on it, like, it does suck, and I don't want us to come off like super negative about it because it is an interesting concept.
Yeah, and let me put it this way: I'm not getting it. I'm not going to use it. It is not for me at all.
I just love originally, like, okay, like, no, that's a fair point, not negativity. I'm never buying this Labo.
I'm not.
Yeah.
However, get it for your kids. Like, this is something
I think
that's
it's very
really cool. You can buy the customization packs for the markers and stuff to use on it. You can be creative with it. You can teach kids ingenuity and how to build things and a little bit of engineering when it comes to the robot thing.
Mm-hmm.
I could totally see this, and this is 100% why I think Nintendo took a different approach with the logo that they used for it. It looks more kid-oriented. It looks like something from school. It looks like arts and crafts. I could totally see this being used in different, like, educational environments.
Oh, in classrooms.
Like, this is definitely something, as much as I'm bashing it for what it is for me, it's not for me.
Exactly.
It's not made for me. It is not something I'm going to go out and buy. And that's what I'm worried about with Nintendo, though. I'm worried about that they are marketing it towards the wrong people.
You might fit in the robo suit. Don't judge it too early.
But I definitely think that this could be used for educational purposes, and I think that this is
100%.
really cool. I think that this could be... eventually, if Nintendo plays this outright and they see really what it can do for who it can do it for, it could go along the same lines as Minecraft being used in schools. Like, it definitely could go in a stretch.
Well,
so
I think
it is a positive thing,
Exactly.
but it's not a thing for gamers.
Exactly.
It is a thing for kids.
I think the whole thing is it's at the early stages of interactive gaming. It's
Yes.
not VR, but it's
Right,
you know,
and it could,
a very
it could
base
go so
level
far.
version of that.
Like, if this goes well, they could do so much with it.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
It's going to be a very rocky process to get there, and
Yes.
I don't think that their initial presentation of it was that great.
100%. Exactly. That's exactly the fair point. Like, especially for Nintendo being the company that they are, they really should have. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, looking at all the stuff, like that piano and like everything else,
It's all very interesting.
it looks very intricate. I was like, damn, for pulling this off with just cardboard, I'm like, that's very impressive. But
Yeah.
at the same time, they needed to, because it is a game trailer. Yeah, we really needed to like see more, and
Yeah.
Nintendo does that though. They really more
and not
go-
even see more for us. We just needed to see more. We needed to hear more.
Yeah.
I would have loved if we would have gotten, instead of a trailer, I wish we would have seen it in the direct. I
Yes.
wish that somebody would have talked about it.
and used it.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
actually
I don't
used
even
it.
care if I saw them use it. I want to hear somebody talk about it like they do in the direct. Like,
Mm.
yeah, Nintendo Labo is going to be coming out. It's going to be geared towards children. It's going to be geared towards teaching kids basic engineering and ingenuity skills. Like, instead, we got this thing. It's just like, we have no idea what the fuck is going on, and then all of a sudden, Labo. Great!
The one thing I will say too, though, and I think this is what's going to make or break the entire thing, is if they put out another more detailed trailer before it comes out.
Yes, and they need to.
They need
there
to,
is
yeah.
time. There is
Yes,
time. It doesn't
they're
have to
absolutely-
April 20th.
Exactly.
We have time.
Yes.
So, we'll see.
Yeah.
But enough of Labo.
Yes.
So two things. One of them's kind of small. One of them's kind of not. The Game Pass, which is Microsoft's thing, which is you pay $10 a month and you get all these older games for free.
Which has
Or
been a
that
thing
way.
for a while.
Yeah, it's
and
been-
we've talked about. We
Yeah,
talked
we've
about,
talked
the
about it
podcast.
before. They are now doing a new thing where any first-party release, such as Sea of Thieves, Crackdown 3, State of Decay, you can get them for a limited time as part of the Game Pass, which is cool if you have
Yeah.
Game Pass.
Hell yeah.
You will have to buy the game later,
Yep.
but it's definitely going to hurt themselves as well as retailers, because there's already a company in Australia, I think Kyle and I were talking about, in Australia, that has already boycotted the Game Pass. They will not sell...
Damn.
They will not sell Sea of Thieves when it comes out. They will not sell Crackdown 3 when it comes out.
Whoa.
Because it's just going to hurt them, because somebody can go out there and pay $10 and play this game for the time period that they will probably play it before they're done with it.
That's probably true.
Like,
That's very true.
if you
Can't
pay
argue that.
$10 and get Crackdown 3, so yeah, you pay $10 a month, just cancel the subscription later if you don't want it.
Yeah.
So you pay $10, 20 maybe if you keep it for 2 months. Beat Crackdown 3 in the 2 months that you play it. Right there, you just bought the game for $20. You can't play it again until you renew the subscription or go buy the game later. But like, okay, you're done. Like, your experience is over.
Yeah.
Now, I highly doubt it's going to include any DLC. You're going to have to buy stuff for it separately. And once the limited run's over, you're going to have to buy the game anyway. So it's kind of like you're paying $10 for a trial. It's almost like EA Access, but not quite. It's just something very different.
I was gonna say, so I think a little bit of your working bias is coming in a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit. So, here's the thing. I'm all for this for two big reasons. One, Microsoft is trying to put out... Well, first, let me say it this way. Microsoft's trying to stay current.
Yes.
So we have companies, shifting gears a little bit, but we have companies like Netflix and stuff like that it's a streaming service. And yeah, they still have a couple mail and shit, but more of the story, it's a conglomerate of, hey, this is where you go for this stuff. You don't go through a third party to then get Netflix.
Right.
And I think down the road, and I think this is just an inevitable thing that's always going to happen. This is how it has to go for now, and it could change. And and the thing is too, it's going to be undeniable that there will always, forever, be a fan base that appreciates physical games and going into a retail store and picking shit up.
Absolutely,
I think that's inarguable, at least at the current time we live in. But I just think like Microsoft has to look at it this way. They probably, especially at the Sony race, for dollar, they lose out on Sony. Not saying that they're failing. It's just they, compared to Sony, which is their rival, you know what I mean? Like that was drawn in the sand fucking decades ago. They got to try to do something, and that's the one thing I will give them big credit for is they're really trying to make moves that directly profit them more.
Absolutely.
It also, and here's the thing.
But see, will the Game Pass actually profit them?
I think so.
If I pay $10,
here's the thing. So it exactly like you said. Hold on. So exactly like you said, because you're smart.
Yes.
Right.
I think so.
No, it's not. So listen to me. But you're smart. So your immediate thought was the second you heard that, go, oh, I'll pay the $10 and then cancel it. They're banking because how many people? Because they're thinking as a business standpoint, right? Yeah. How many fucking people on Netflix, any subscription service, how many people get into it and then after that 30 days forget? Yeah. Exactly.
Now, the other thing that they could be thinking about is, okay, you pay $10, you play Sea of Thieves for 30 days, you really like it, you want to buy it.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Crackdown 3 is not going to work that way. Because Crackdown 3, I'm going to buy it in the month, I'm going to beat it in the month, I'm going to be over it, and I'm not going to buy it later. Yeah. So then Microsoft lost out on a potential $60 sale from me because I paid $10 to play their game.
For that one, you're totally true, but let's go over other Microsoft ones.
Okay.
Halo.
Gears of War, yeah. Forza.
All long-term games that you're going to play and probably want to own.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So then, okay, so hypothetically, let's just say Microsoft puts out 5 first-party titles this year. Mm-hmm. 5 big titles. We get Halo 6, Forza 8, whatever, Crackdown 3, Sea of Thieves, and Banjo-Kazooie 4.
Yeah, there we go. Or some rare game.
Yeah. Okay. So those 5. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we get those 5 games. I pay $10 a month for an entire year. I've paid $120 and got 5 games out of it.
Yeah.
And if I keep paying, that's great. But eventually, they're going to put out so many exclusives that I'm never going to catch up to what the retail price would be.
Oh no, exactly. So, that's the point.
And but if I have the Game Pass and I'm paying $10 and I have Halo and I have Gears out of this, like they have to limit this at some point.
Well, so bear with me on this, and this is even like another point. So technically,
this was supposed to be the small thing.
I know, but it is a big deal.
Yeah,
and we were, honestly, we brought it up even before the podcast, and we were shooting the shit about it for a while. Because honestly, we could go into a whole fucking podcast just on this subject.
We're definitely going on another one in the next
topic. But, what's it called? So, with this, though, and like I said, though, think about it, though, yet again, and I'm saying, like, I'm not saying it's right or even it's good or bad. I'm just saying, just look at it as Microsoft's perspective. First of all, digital.
Yeah.
Didn't really lose money there.
True.
They automatically limit the gameplay time.
Yep.
And if anything else, it is only $10, which doesn't sound like a lot. But you know what? It's probably more profit overall than what they do shipping out the physical game, banking on the people to buy it, the manufacturing costs and everything else. It's digital. I mean, honestly, and this is the thing we've been talking about for probably a decade now of slowly but surely
moving toward digital. Now, the other thing going on top of this, and while you were talking, I was thinking about this. Microsoft is doing this in a very smart way, as opposed to the way PlayStation did PlayStation Now.
Exactly.
Which everybody already forgot about.
Yep.
Like, PlayStation Now is kind of a thing of the past.
Exactly.
The Game Pass is definitely... And Microsoft's also marketing it well, and they're pushing it well. PlayStation was just kind of like, hey, $25, and you can play these old games.
Yeah.
Like...
And as even a counterpoint to even what you brought up before, because I know you were more even talking about the Microsoft side of it, but of like, hey, I'll never be able to catch up to my dollar amount of the games I'm playing. But that's the point. Because why would you ever get it?
Right.
If your money would pay the same. You would just buy the fucking game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You would just buy the game, and especially you buy the physical game because then you could turn it around and get some type of profit when you're done with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like that's the point. Microsoft wants to pretty much tell you like, dude. And by the way, they're talking about first party titles, but that also potentially means they could bust out some like indie exclusive shit too.
Yeah.
Now that's not guaranteed by any
not.
stretch, but you know, I mean, we could see like, I mean, an example like Cuphead, where it's like
A Game Pass
exclusive.
only game.
Exactly. Like we could see shit like, or no, not Game Pass only, but exclusive. Like you could also play it for the first. And that one because an indie title maybe only 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Do shit like that. I mean, my thing is this. I think it's very smart. I think they're marketing it well.
I think it's a good jump for them.
And it fucking helps out the consumer.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing, dude. Like, honestly, like, as gamers, like, here's the thing. Sea of Thieves look cool from a distance. Shout out to Grant. That motherfucker won't stop fucking talking about it
Hey,
ever.
it was fun last night while it wasn't crashing for me. It was great. It was super fun.
You gotta get that internet fixed.
I know.
He's gotta gut the internet
My
out of your
internet
house.
was going at 103 megabits per second, and then all of a sudden it was 930 kilobits per second, and then it was 10 megabits, and then it was back down to kilobits. Would not freaking download, and then I finally got to play the game for like 15 minutes, and it kept kicking me out, and I'm just, oh.
So, my thing is this. I think it's a great incentive, and especially for games that are kind of gambles. Like, Sea of Thieves isn't a bad game, but it's a gamble because it's new IP. It's not like they don't have, and it's a very new type of game too. So like, if people don't look into it, it's very tough to get people to buy it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Or from Microsoft's standpoint. So in Rare, but like, I think that's the perfect way. Like, by the way, man, $10 motherfucking bucks. Check out the game for a month,
Yeah.
and it's all online. You fucking play it, enjoy it, cool. And Crackdown, I mean, I totally agree with you. Crackdown's a game. Yeah, most people are gonna beat in that first month, but let's be real.
Well,
Was Crackdown 1 and 2 fucking destroying?
No,
I mean,
but the only reason I brought up Crackdown is because when they announced this, the first 2 games that they said were Sea of Thieves and Crackdown.
Crackdown, exactly.
It's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
No, but totally. No, I totally agree with
So
that.
this we might spend a little bit of time on. So we should.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we won't get into every single spec because right now it's not even official.
No.
It's
so
just in the works.
Let's actually not go in depth with it because.
Yeah, let's just bring it up.
Yeah, so there's a thing that's a rumor. It's a thing that could happen.
Yeah.
Microsoft is looking to acquire a new company.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 company names being thrown around. One of them is probably never going to happen. One of them could happen and could shake things up the way Disney just did by buying Fox. And the other one's probably going to happen. The company that is probably going to be acquired is the PUBG Corporation. Mm-hmm. They already have the exclusive. They're already publishing PUBG. They might as well just take the company and make them make a different game for them as a developer.
Most importantly, they'll take that shit and be like, by the way, don't push it on a PS4.
Yeah.
That's how they'll be like.
Or they do what they did when they bought Mojang, and they'll tell PUBG to
Yes.
put it on PlayStation, and then when people buy it on PlayStation, they just get the profit like they do with Minecraft.
Yep.
That could be a thing. The company that they're never going to buy, at least I highly doubt, would be Valve. That's one of the names that got thrown around. Microsoft cannot own Steam. If Microsoft owns Steam, it's going to wind up being a monopoly. They can't own Steam. They could own.
It's too big.
They could own the development department of Valve.
The
they
gaming,
could buy
the
that.
gaming actual development. Yes.
They could take the development side. They could actually go and publish Portal 3 and Left 4 Dead 3 and Half-Life 3.
Nope, Half-Life 3 is never happening.
We could get games like Half-Life 3 and stuff like that.
Like it? Absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
Just don't build up my dream again. I had to kill it. I had to bury that dog.
So that could happen.
Don't Pet Cemetery this shit.
They definitely could not go and actually own Steam. The company that they could buy, which could be a very, very big thing, which could
Would
lead
shake
to
up a lot.
It would change. It would change a lot of things. Although at the same time, it might not. But I don't want to go into details with it because I don't want to have this crazy thought in our heads of what could happen.
No.
So we're just going to state a fact.
Yep.
You guys can give us your opinions on it and roll with it. Microsoft's looking to buy EA, Electronic Arts. If they were to buy EA, EA is a publisher.
Yep.
But EA owns a lot of
Stuff.
Developers,
Mm-hmm.
like DICE and Criterion and
a bunch.
Yeah.
Like hundreds.
Yeah.
A ton of stuff.
But
It's huge.
if Microsoft were to take them, and Microsoft were to own EA and all of the companies that it has as developers, Microsoft could take their own developers and mash them together and make games that aren't necessarily exclusive for the Xbox,
but definitely significantly better.
Yes, and they could have EA Sports, and they could do, hey, you buy FIFA on Xbox and you get it 30 days early. Yeah. Hey, you buy Madden on Xbox and you get the exclusive Xbox All-Star team.
And you can play it on the EA, or not the EA. You can play it on the Pass early.
Yeah.
They in theory. Now,
well, they'll also own EA Access then. Now,
I'm not trying to super go down the rabbit hole too, but yeah, they could merge.
Yep.
There could be a lot of things.
The other thing with it is if they do this, then when Madden sells on PlayStation, Microsoft gets a cut of it. When FIFA sells on the Switch, Microsoft gets a cut of it. Microsoft could have 343 Industries help BioWare with Anthem.
Yeah.
They could have the Coalition, who is very, very good at shaking up screens and making things very violent and intense. They could make a new.
That might be the best review of that. That might be the best summary of that company of all time.
Yeah.
They're really good at shaking up that screen and shit at the fan.
Yep.
God.
They could have multiple different of their developers go through and do stuff, but they could also have, say, I don't know, BioWare work on the next Fable.
Yeah.
Like, it would be a very, very big thing, and it would be the first time that a company this big that has its own system would buy another publisher this big. It'd be like Sony buying Activision. Mm-hmm. It's like Disney buying Fox.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
is a thing. It is a very big thing. It could cause a lot of issues. It could cause a lot of good things.
It also could never happen.
Possibly. Yeah.
Possibly might not happen. We might be bringing this up for literally no reason, but it's in major talks.
Yep.
Which means, if it's already in major talks, that's kind of typically, that usually means they're just kind of prepping everyone.
Yeah, well, I mean,
usually.
Like, when it was in major talks that Disney was buying Fox, there was a contract written, it was put on
exactly,
the table.
Yep.
There was money thrown involved.
Yes.
EA and Xbox have a very, very big partnership. But
and they've also had a good partnership.
Yes, but let's also keep in mind, though, Xbox is not buying them. Microsoft is buying them. Yep. Microsoft could be buying EA, obviously to use for Xbox, but they could have something else completely different in mind. Yeah. They could take the EA Sports team and use them with Microsoft HoloLens and make an augmented reality football game. Mm-hmm. Like, there's multiple different reasons that they could be buying this.
100%.
But they want to. They're out there. They put the offer on the table. It's a thing. We should cap it there.
Yep.
And not go down a rabbit hole.
No. And the thing is, if you want us to talk more about it, we could easily
do a whole episode.
We could do an entire episode on it. Yep. And the thing is, and regardless,
if it happens, we probably will.
1,000%. If it's confirmed, if we get a confirmation on it, we will absolutely shoot the shit and go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, we could have special guests for that and everything.
Exactly. I mean, there's so much to dissect with something like that. So definitely. But the thing is, I mean, if you want us to just totally speculate, if you want us to do a whole guess and check thing, we can absolutely do that. Yeah,
just let us know.
Let us know in the comments. So
that's that for that. There's a bunch of games coming out in February. Some of the major releases, we got Shadow of the Colossus remake coming out really, really soon.
Yep.
We have the Secret of Mana release coming out. We've got UFC 3, which the Champions Edition is already out. Main game comes out this coming Friday. Got Metal Gear Survive, Bayonetta 1 and 2 on the Switch, and Payday 2 on the Switch. So those are some major ones coming out for February. So Nick.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting week for us.
It has been.
But it's also a important week for us.
Absolutely. 2 days ago, specifically.
Yeah, it was the first time that we uploaded a video onto the YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
So this is our 1 year anniversary for the podcast, for everything that we've been doing.
Yeah.
So we want to thank you guys for all the support that you guys have given us, and all the comments, all the feedback, all the likes and subscribes and stuff like that. So, and we want to thank Zach and Q and Kyle and Grant and Dave and Kenny for all having our backs and doing different things with us and cross promoting,
just being friends, just enjoying what we've been doing.
Yep,
it's been really great. Yeah, I mean, me and Jeremy started this channel literally just to put shit out there. We always originally started as us shooting the shit, going, why the hell don't we just record the conversations that we have? And we've been doing it for 1 year now.
Yep.
and super enjoying it.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
the
It's
whole
fun.
goal is to keep doing it and see where it goes.
Most importantly, at the end of the day, it's fun. Like,
Exactly.
If we could do this as our full-time
100%.
job one day, we absolutely would love to.
Man.
But right now, it's fun. It's
Yeah.
fun for you guys. It's fun for us. We get to sit here and talk about all the things that we want to talk about anyway, and that way him and I can go back later when we're off the camera and reference the things that we said and get into the real arguments so you guys don't see us fight. It's great. That doesn't happen.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I
So
just punch him in
on.
the face sometimes. Have you noticed his indent in the side of his head? That's from me.
Son of a bitch. Waited 1 year, that's it. We're fighting. We're fighting this podcast right now. We've waited 1 year, and now we're throwing down. The people have wanted it, now we're going to do a fight.
Yep.
So, on that note, guys, that wraps up episode 34, right?
Yep.
34?
Yep, that's
I
a
was
four.
looking at I looked at it 55 times. I was like, 9? 4?
No, that's
4,
a 4.
9?
That's a hair.
34. Just a recap in case you have terrible ADD. January 31st, 2018. That year is always gonna fucking throw me off.
Yep. For a little bit. We'll get used to it in a month.
Yeah. So, guys, if for some fucking crazy reason you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, please do. Always helps us out. Helps us out the channel. Lets us know you're involved.
Yep.
Want to keep checking out our goddamn videos.
Let's just know that we're doing our jobs.
Exactly. Notification bell's right next to it if you want to get all the updates on when we put out episodes. I mean, goddamn, we have fucking busy lives, so, like, today, for example, our podcasts sometimes are sporadic, so, ergo...
Because, they're supposed to be Sunday nights, but
Exactly.
I forgot that I was supposed to go watch the
It's
Royal
okay.
Rumble with friends.
We do our best, so moral of the story, hit the notification bell, you'll know when we're putting stuff out. We try to keep it as poignant as possible. As well, we have our Twitch. Jeremy, where can they find us on Twitch?
Twitch.tv/Players the Roundtable.
Awesome. We also have a Facebook page. Jeremy, where can they find us on Facebook?
Facebook.com/Players the Roundtable.
So, guys, on that note...
Oh, wait.
Oh!
One last thing. I forgot. There's a very important thing happening before we're going to record the next podcast.
Okay.
Y'all got to leave in the comments who you want to win the Super Bowl.
Ugh, no one.
I mean, that can't happen, though. Somebody has to win.
No, it could just be a draw, just forever.
Can they just blow up the stadium?
Yes,
Yeah.
with no one in it. I don't want anyone to get injured,
Yeah,
But,
no. Yeah.
except
Yeah,
maybe
just-
Tom Brady.
Make sure it's when Tom Brady's there with his secret meeting and all the refs when he's telling them, hey, make sure this happens.
When he's deflate the ball.
Yeah. Oops.
It's like an evil villain's table as he's deflating balls. Just
There's a Nazi symbol made out of flat footballs in the center.
That's too far. That's too far. Jesus Christ.
And the whole table's striped like a
On
ref.
that note, guys, as always, good evening, good night, and as usual and always, good luck.
To the Eagles.
Have a good one, guys. Fuck them both!